Thank you for joining me on episode number 2 of the Life in Knit podcast. My name is Rachel. I did a terrible job at introducing myself last week. I am so sorry. My Instagram is _lifeinknit. My Ravelry ID, if you want to take a look at some of the things I've done in the past, is Rachel1137. I will link both below so you don't need to worry about spelling and whatnot, because who wants to figure that out? And yeah, thank you for joining me. I hope you have a cup of something cozy or a glass of wine, if depending on what time you're watching this, and have about half an hour or so to hang out with me. Thank you again for joining. I will talk a little bit about what I have finished, because again, I have finishes this week, as well as some things I'm working on, some newer things. And if you stay tuned to the end, I do have a couple of giveaways as a big thank you for tuning in and checking me out. So thank you again. I really appreciate it. So start off with what I'm wearing. I was lucky enough to be one of the test knitters for the Lace and Fade Boxy by Joji Locatelli. I've got another one of these coming up later potentially. So I thought I would wear it today. It is an oversized top, but doesn't look quite as big because of the lace detail. It does call for like a fuzzy lace weight, but I used a single stranded lace just to lighten it up a little bit, and so that I was feeling at the time. So this is the Handmaiden Sea Silk in color Ivory, and this is from Lillian Pine, who's a local dyer. It is Siren Song on her cashmere sock base. So comfortable. It is a beautiful base, and doesn't pill super bad, especially considering how much I wear this thing. It is probably my most worn sweater to date, which is why thinking about making another one. So a little bit about me. My name is Rachel, obviously. I am from Cochrane, Alberta, so I live just outside of Calgary. I've been here for about a year now. We moved from the lower mainland last April. Really enjoying it here so far. The knitting scene is great, and just loving the whole vibe of the city in general. It's a fantastic city, and we really enjoy being here. And having as many yarn stores as are here does not hurt, as well as we have some really great local dyers. So it's been really fun checking them out. My day job, I manage restaurants for a living. I work at one of the best restaurants in the city with one of the best views in the city, so I'm pretty stinking lucky. That's what I do most of the time. And knitting wise, I've been knitting for about 14 years now. I really jumped off the deep end about 7-8 years ago and haven't looked back. It is how I relax after a long day. It's what I do all the time now, and I absolutely love it. The yarn fumes are no joke. Once you get into it, it's really hard to stop. Finishes. So you couldn't tell by the fact I had 2 things last week that were pretty stinking close to done. I've got 2 finishes this week. I promise I don't finish things every week. I wish I did, but it's a good time to start apparently, because it makes me look a little bit more impressive than normal. So the Twisted Tea Shorts by Brianna Lupino. So cute. So I did these in the opening day bouquet from Polka Dot Creek for the opening of the Cochrane store. There's still so much of the yarn left. I think I used 19 of the minis, 10 gram minis, so 190 grams for the size. I did size 7 out of 10 on these ones. Again, I did mention this last week. If you do these, please do. They're adorable. I would recommend going down a size. I am considering making a second pair and going down a size on those, because they were super fast, and I have a feeling that I will be living in them. The pattern, so I started them on July 31st and I finished them on August 21st. Pretty quick turnaround on those. It was primarily as what can you use these little minis for? And the answer is literally anything, as long as you have fun with stripes. And just to kind of play with the yarn a little bit. And I'm allowed to knit at work at the Polka Dot Creek job. So being able to do that is a lot of fun. And it's a really great way to showcase a bunch of the colors that were there. The shorts go from sizes of 24 to 56 inches. And that is waist size. And so not your hips, the actual waist measurements, because it does start a little bit higher with a recommended 6 inches of negative ease to 0 inches of ease. And there are 10 sizes in that one, in those ones. That I would try to be better about telling you how long it takes me to work on things and being a little bit more upfront about sizing that is available, because it's a really big deal and I like people to be able to know if something is doable for them. So yeah, pretty good size range on that one, especially with the 6 inches of negative ease. And yeah, next is not for me, but still a finish for me, so I'm counting it. This is the Bryce sweater test. So the Bryce sweater is by Dragon Horde Designs, so Tristan Molina, and I did this as a sample for Marissa of Fantasy Fibers. I will hopefully tug her to getting some pictures of it and throw those in at the end. If not, then I'll just throw a couple pictures in of it laying down, because it's beautiful. Oh, that's a good shot of the color. So this is in her Morley Gray DK base. If you haven't tried a yak blend, do it. It is fantastic. It's so soft and holds up really, really, really well. And the colors on it, because the yak is a darker gray, the colors are just completely different and just beautiful. I can show you the difference. So it's a fun one for the difference because I happen to have this colorway. So this is Sleeping Death on the yaks, the Morley Gray, and then this is Sleeping Death on the Merino base. So it just gives it that darker, moodier, grayer tone because the base of it is so much darker. So just a really fun way of showing the difference between the two bases. So it's why it's always really nice to be able to see how the color works up on different bases. But this is, like I said, Sleeping Death as the contrast color, and then Envy as the main color, which is just the prettiest green. Yeah, you can kind of see just how loose of a fabric it is on this, because it is a less dense fabric than originally planned for in the pattern. It is designed with a boucle yarn, but it works out really well in just about anything. Yeah, I'm very excited to be able to give this to Marissa today. She doesn't know what's coming for her yet, but it's coming to you today, Marissa. I'm so excited. So that's why I am podcasting a day early today, so I can get her sweater today, because I'm gonna go spend a little bit of time playing in Marissa's yarn studio today. Not actually doing any dyeing. I just help out here and there when she's got too much on her plate. So, oh darn, I get to go play with all the pretty things. I've worked that one up pretty quickly. It is going to be a full loungewear set. There's shorts coming. We don't have the pattern even for testing yet because it has apparently been a bit of a pain in the keister. But the sweater, I started it on July 24th and finished it on August 22nd. So just a day later than the shorts. So it was a pretty good couple of days for me there. I knit the second size since it is for Marissa. It's a smaller size than I normally would for myself. The size range is 42.5 inches to 82.5 inches, with a built-in recommended ease of 14 to 18 inches. It's broken down into 11 sizes. Yeah, she generally is pretty good in her size range. But yeah, it's definitely starting on the oversized side of things, because that's what she was going for with this sweater. works in progress. So one of the ones you will remember from last week is the Birch sweater by Andrew Mowry. Again, I'm doing this as another sample for Marissa Fantasy Fibers. This one is in a bag from Shirley Bryan yarn. She has dinosaurs on all of her things, and I love it. So I think I have 3 of her bags now. One of them was a Christmas present, so that one was not my fault. But the other ones are entirely. So this one is getting close as well. I hope that this one will be another finish next week. So this is again on the Morley Gray base, so the Yak Merino blend. This one is in Moon Dancing on the Morley Gray fingering. So got the one that I just finished in DK. This one is fingering and an all over fisherman's rib. So this one, as I said last time, is going a lot slower. It's almost there. I think I've only got about 3 or so more inches on the sleeves to go on this one, and then it is done. The end stoppers are also dinosaurs on this one. Little cute little gray guys. I got these from Marissa Fantasy Fibers as well. No, I do not need end stoppers because there's so much room on this cord, but they're adorable. So why not? This one has a pretty good size range as well, from 35.5 inches to 66.25 inches, broken down into 9 sizes. Again, it's the Birch sweater by Andrew Mowry, and to show that I don't normally finish things in 3 weeks, this has been on the needles since January 13th. Marissa said to not rush, so I really took that one to heart, apparently. But it's almost there. And yeah, the color on this one. She does like green, if you couldn't guess. And she does some really good greens and golds. And really, any color. Kind of obsessed with her yarn, as I said last time. Yeah, she's also a friend, so kind of biased on that front. But it's still really, really good. The other one that you know about from last week was one that was in my to be started soon pile. So this was the Cami by Alicia Plummer. This bag is a really pretty galaxy print from Malia Made It. I don't know if she is still making bags, but it's just a simple sweater bag. I got a bunch from her at pretty much the same time, probably 7 or 8 years ago. It's been a while. Yeah, this one was a sock set last week, and I have gone a little bit crazy. Yeah, the Cami by Alicia Plummer is a pretty new pattern. It is a sport weight pattern. So I did do 3 gauge swatches for it before figuring out how to do the math. And I am doing size 7 out of 16. There's 16 sizes in this pattern, which is amazing, ranging from 28 inches to 71.75 inches, and it's broken down into 16 sizes. It's a really great size range. It's something that's not too typical with a lot of designers, but Alicia Plummer is really good about making sure that her size range is fantastic. This is a bottom up camisole little tank top, if you couldn't tell by the name of it. And yeah, so I wound up dropping down 2 needle sizes from the gauge that is recommended in the pattern, and kind of making up my own size with the math. If you ever have issues figuring out the math, I'm always happy to help. Not that good at math overall, but knitting math is much easier. So this is again the Ice Melt Snow sock set by Polka Dot Creek, and it is coming along fast. So it's a bottom-up camisole. I started off with the lighter blue of the minis, and then finished it and faded into the main color. I am just past what the pattern calls for before starting to finish it, but I'm going to add a little bit of extra length to it. There's a chance that I will need to buy another mini from Polka Dot Creek tomorrow when I go into work. But there's worse things in life. And again, because I have a stitch stopper obsession, I try to match them to my bags or projects because it's so much fun. I do put notions in every single bag, so I always have them with me. So I always have stitch markers and needle stoppers and scissors and measuring tape and everything that I need, because I want to be able to just grab it and go and not have to think about it. Yeah, these are stitch stoppers. These cute little dragons are from Dragonhorn Yarn. She has them like 4 or 5 different colors, but they're just so cute. I think I have them in 2 or 3 colors, but you'll probably see them as I rotate through my bags. Yeah, the Cami pattern. Gonna wind up doing the top straps in the purple that came with the sock set. Dog hair on everything, always. Yeah, so it's gonna be super, super cute. I'm hoping that I'll be able to make it through even with my extra length with the entirety of the sock set. I still have a good amount of the main skein left. I think when I measured it, weighed it last night, I was at about 30 grams left. So I'm hopeful that I can make it through, getting it to about 10 grams left of it and see where I'm at. I think I only wanted to add another 2 inches, so I should be okay. Because a good portion of the top will be in that purple. So, wish me luck. We'll see if I make it or not. Because I do have a couple of the other Polka Dot Creek sock sets. So, 140 grams is a pretty good amount. And with that, I've got a few camisoles in there, which would be fun. Because this has gone so, so fast. I did bring it to a comedy show with me, so I did have about 5 hours of basically uninterrupted stockinette time to make it go. So that really, really helped a lot with that one. And the last of my active whips is brand new, like brand new. I impulsively cast on at 11:30 last night, which was probably not the smartest thing I've ever done in my life. But I just got excited, so why not? Because why not do brioche with almost black yarn at 11:30 at night? It's definitely not going to turn out badly for anyone. This is in a bag by another local maker. So this is So Shannon bag. I have a bunch of them. This is one of her sweary lines. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's a fun one. And I'm a member of the Knit Graffiti Patreon, so when you sign up, she sends out her little enamel pins on that one. This one's got like a faux leather bottom, little canvas bag, and she always does a lighter lining fabric on a lot of her bags, which is really nice because it makes things a lot easier to find and see. So like I said, just started this one last night, so it's not super far along. But the colors I'm using, so I'm making a sample for the Polka Dot Creek Boutique here in Cochrane, Alberta. And I've got 2 colors. So this is Away We Ride. Normally just in a sock set, but I stole part of it out. So one of the new fall colorways. It's not new. She's been doing it for a couple years now. It just came back. So you can see a lot of like the pumpkin-y orange. It's like a sandy base with some darker colors in there. A little bit of gold. And then charcoal. So just a nice dark gray. And yeah, this is going to be the Forest Spirit Shawl by Knit Graffiti. Like I said, just have the barest of starts to it. And yeah, so I'm currently using the black as the main color, and then the speckled as the contrast. But I'm not sure I am sold on it. I also did not have any 3.5 millimeter needles, so I did size up on this one, and I'm also not 100% sure that I like that, so I might just end up pulling out the entire thing and starting over, because there's not that much left there. So it only took like half an hour or so of knitting last night at tops, and that included stopping and staring at it 5,000 times. Because if you don't stop and stare at a brand new project, then what is the point of starting a brand new project? But yeah, see just the very, very smallest amount of brioche increases there. And then, yeah. But the back with the speckle as the highlighter looks really, really good. So I think that I'm going to go pick up a set of needles because I didn't have any of the 3.5 millimeters. And it's really handy having Polka Dot Creek in town now. So I might just go pick up yet another set of needles and cast this on again tonight. So yeah, you might see this looking totally different next week. The stitch marker is from another one of the local makers and friend of mine, Tracy from Sassy Strings. She makes these really pretty stitch markers, resin. I think I have like 8 different sets in different colors, but they're beautiful. But galaxy-ish to match the galaxy big. Because again, it's all gotta match. That's my excuse for having every single color imaginable and everything. Yeah, that is the 3 projects that I'm working on right now. With the Birch nearly done, I have started to think about what's next. By starting to think about, I've had the yarn for this project for about 1.5 years now. So Marissa every year, Fantasy Fibers does a Pie Day collection with a bunch of other makers in and around mostly North America, I believe. It's the majority of them. So for Pie Day does like a pie themed colorway, and this one was last year's. So love me some pie. You can see a lot of like the burgundies, a little bit of gold, some black in there. It's absolutely gorgeous. And so yeah, I grabbed a sweater quantity of this one. I've got 4 skeins. I think I'll probably only use 3 for the sweater. And then I have an extra for a pair of socks or whatnot. And I did show this last week, the Harbinger on Surrey. And I'm going to use that as the contrast. So these two, for another one of these sweaters, it's going to be totally different. That's my favorite thing about knitting, is you can make the same pattern over and over again, but it always looks so different because of the colors that you use. So this is going to be the next one when the Birch is done. I think it's just going to be beautiful, and we're heading into fall, so I think it's going to be the perfect fall sweater. Yeah, that's a fun one. Very, very excited about that. I do also have a secret test knit coming up soon. I am doing another test knit for Jennifer of Alendria Knits, and still have to pick out yarn for that one. Always fun. There's always a million things going on around here, and I enjoy it. I do have a couple other whips as well that I have not actively working on right now. I'll bring them out as I do start working on them. If there's not going to be progress, there's really no point in showing it to you, in my opinion. The fun part is when it's actually being worked on. So, yeah. I did pick up a little bit of yarn when I was grabbing the skein for the shawl from Shelly. There was one that had a lot more burgundies and the gold and the blacks in it. So this is the Way We Ride sock set. It's been staring at me since it came in, because we got the Halloween, as she says, colors a little bit early, and this one was not going to be good for the shawl because the black in there, like, because it does come with a charcoal as well, and this is Spice as the minis. There's too much of the blacks in this one to go really well for the shawl with the contrast that you need for the brioche, but for me, it's perfect. So this one came home with me. It's the best thing about working there, is that you can grab the ones that are the best for you as soon as they come in. So this one was hiding on a different shelf for a while, so I figured it should just actually come home. Beautiful. So that's everything that I have been working on lately. I will talk a little bit more about what's been going on in my life, but I thought I'd do the fun part first, because not everyone wants to hang around for what I've been doing, and because it's not actually knitting related. So yeah, giveaways. I love giveaways. I've won a couple and I get so excited every time. I get so excited even just to enter. So I thought I would do 2, because everyone in my life has been so good about showing up for this, and I really, really appreciate it. So I have 2. As just comment anything down below, please. Subscribe, like and comment down below, and let me know which of the 2 prize packages you would prefer. So the first one is going to be mostly for the non-knitters. This is a shawl that I finished a while ago. I have it all nicely washed and blocked for you. This is the Twin It Up MCal from Cozy Up Knits. This is a 3-skein shawl knit, and this is the Handmaiden Sea Silk Lace. Same one as in this sweater. I held it double for this one. This is the Hedgerow Yarns Fine Alpaca. She's a UK-based dyer. That's the blue, and this is Malabrigo sock. Colorway is Lotus. Try to put a couple pictures because you can't really see much. The downside of me sitting on the floor in front of all my yarn is that I can't back up to show you things. So again, I'll put a couple pictures in at the end. So this is one of the 2 options. A really nice shawl. It's a triangular shaped shawl, so it'll stay on your shoulders pretty well if that's what you're in the mood for. And then what's a giveaway on a knitting podcast without throwing in some yarn and bags? So I put together a little package of some of my favorites. So we have a very large bag here from Tofino Knit Co. This is a brand new bag. It is enormous, so ahead for comparison, it is a giant bag. So Tofino Knit Co. bag. It's a really nice canvas bag with straps, so really good for anything in your life, whether it be as a project bag or a market bag or whatnot. And a little bit of yarn from some of my favorite people. And yeah, so this is from Flock Fibers on their sock base. The colorway is Twilight Garden. You get a lot of purples and greens, a little bit of mustardy gold in there. From Twisted Faith Fibrettes, this is their Blue Faced Leicester. It's again a sock weight yarn. A little 20-gram mini. From Comfy Cozy Knits, another local dyer. A little 25-gram mini, because why not change it up a little bit. Their Squishy Sock, 80/20 superwash merino nylon. And a really pretty green. And then of course I had to throw some Polka Dot Creek in there. I was going to throw some Fantasy Fibers in there, but I don't have any labeled minis from her right now. This is Navy from Polka Dot Creek. A little 20-gram mini. Because there's never enough navy in your life. So yeah, that's going to be the second prize package. The bag and yarn. So yeah, if you just want to leave a comment down below with which of the 2 you'd prefer, I'll give it until next week and then do a random number generator and pick a couple of names. So if you're just here for the knitting stuff, thank you so much for popping by. I really appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me today. But I have been up to a little bit this last week. I've got a 4-day weekend from work, and so I've been getting up to a little bit more. So on Sunday, I checked off the 3rd of my 4 bucket list comedians, bucket list female comedians, and went and saw Eliza Schlesinger at the Great Outdoor Comedy Festival. It was a really fun show, and we got to hang out all day long in the sunshine, and it was beautiful. That is where I got a lot of the progress done on my Cami, because they're kind of captive prisoners there, so I did bring my knitting with me and just worked on that the whole time, because I can pay attention to a lot and just knit round and round and round. And then tonight, I'm going on a double date with Marissa and our guys, and gonna go see the remake of The Crow. It's cheap night at the VIP theater, so that's generally when we go, because what else is there to do on a Tuesday night? And it's a remake of The Crow. How could you not go see it? So really excited for that one. And then tomorrow, of course, so Polka Dot Creek has knit nights every Wednesday, and I help run them. So it's me and Olive running those, so I'll be there from 3 to 8 tomorrow, and every Wednesday, so come hang out if you're local. Get around between like 6 and 8 ladies there every week, and it's really fun to see what people are working on and see what kind of progress they're getting as well. And we have taught a couple people how to knit, which is really fun as well. So come on by, regardless of what skill level you're at. We would love to see you. I'm going to talk a bit about what I've been reading and watching lately. I just finished The Mole. I know I'm way far behind everyone. If you are a reality show fan, I've also got my husband hooked on it now, so he's watching season 1. Checking that out. It was really good. I think I binge watched that in like 3 days. And we are doing a rewatch of the Vampire Diaries together right now. Also finally caught up on all the back episodes of the Polka Dot Creek podcast, Easily Distracted by Yarn. If you haven't checked it out, go. You get to meet Shelly a little bit more, and then Krista and Candace, who work there as well. And then she brings in fun little visitors every once in a while. It's also how I got the guts to do this, because they talked me into being on their podcast. So, like, if I can be on that one, why can't I do my own too? Yeah, I will try to shout out at least one different podcast every week. I watch a bunch, and listen to a bunch. Yeah, because there's so many great podcasts out there, and never enough to watch. Reading wise, I am currently reading Here There Be Monsters by A.C. Garrett. It's a pretty new release, and please read the trigger warnings before you get into the book, just to make sure that it's all for you. And then in the next couple days, I'm starting Rabid by Ivy Asher. It's for the Fantasy Fibers book club. It's been on my to be read list for a while, so I'm pretty excited to get into that one. So I finished the first one pretty quick here, because I think we talked about the first 6 chapters on September 2nd. We do some really fun books every month if you want to come join there as well. So that's the 2 that I am currently or about to start reading. Yeah, nothing else too crazy going on in my life here. I'm just gonna go play with yarn now. So no different than every other day in my life. Just different ones. Oh yeah, background. So slightly different angle than last week. I thought it'd be fun to kind of move around a little bit before I figure out the right spot for me, so you can kind of see a little bit more of my sock yarn collection. So not just sock yarn, fingering weight in general. So this is all of the random one-off skeins. Again, a large portion of them are in bags still, just for, like I said last week, their own protection. But I haven't been keeping up on that too well, so a lot of it is not either. So just kind of in behind and everywhere. This is one of the new ones from Candace of Mary Margaret Fibers. This is Happy Birthday on her sock. Oh, so many fun speckles. So just a light pinkish base with a lot of pinks and purples, green, a highlighter yellow, a little bit of orange down there. It's so beautiful. I know she dyed up a lot for Knit City, and there was still some left over, because people somehow let it go. It's just really bright colorways. It's really fun. Go check it out. She has her things available at both of the Polka Dot Creek stores, and then online as well. It was just sitting there staring at you, so I had to kind of show that one off. Most of this is Marissa's yarn. I do a lot of her clubs year after year. This is one of the newer ones. Daddy Dean, so she's doing a Daddy's theme club this year. I do both the tonal and the variegated every month, because when I got closer and didn't have to pay for shipping, figure I might as well get both. So this is the Daddy Dean, which I think was the March, sometime this year. colorway, really nice blues and greens. She's also really good at making them go together a little bit, so it's really fun to do from back to back. Yeah, thought I'd pull out a couple of them just for fun and show you a couple here and there. Thank you again for joining me. I hope you take the time to spend a little time on yourself, make something, take care of yourself. It's a rough world out there, and not enough of us take care of ourselves the way that we should. So take some time for yourself. And yeah, thank you again for joining. Subscribe and comment down below. I will check, so please subscribe. Yeah, thank you again for hanging out with me. I am so excited to be doing this. And if you want to see a little bit more on my day-to-day life, I've been trying to be better about posting daily on my Instagram page. So yeah, thank you so much. I'll see you next week.